If you are in government, please do not embezzle. If you've been contracted to build hospitals, please build the hospitals. If you've been contracted to build roads, build them. If you've been contracted to renovate schools, renovate it. If you've been contracted to renovate universities, renovate it. If you're an SUG president within a university for the student union, do not try to accumulate a lot of hostels and try to sell them back to other students at higher rates. How exactly are you making life better for the students? How can we be certain that if you find your way into the circles of our leaders, of leadership of the country tomorrow, you will not replicate the same? These are all the little things that are adding up to the issues we have today. No one wants to take accountability, responsibility. We're all looking out for ourselves, not for the general interest of the country. Then later, it's very easy to blame it on one person. The president, oh, the president, this, oh, the president, that. I'm not saying the president is not to blame for some of those things, of course. Definitely, he has his. Hello, how are you all doing today? So, back again with a lot of updates for you guys. A lot of things have happened since my last video. I want to start today's discussion by branching quickly on an event that happened during the weekend, a couple of days ago already, which was the interview between Daniel Bwala and Mehdi Hasan. Obviously, I shouldn't really be talking about this again because a lot of things have been said about this, and you've all seen the level of disgrace that happened during the interview. So talking about it, it would be more like adding salt to an injury, which I wouldn't really want to do. I believe if there is any disgrace that needed to be done, Mehdi Hassan has already served it on that day. But I decided to talk about this today just to make reference to how true journalism should be done, what it should look like. You see, it's not as if the journalists in our country don't really have access to our politicians. You will agree with me that they have tremendous access to all the politicians within our country. But the question now is, why exactly are they not holding them to account, just like Mehdi Hassan did? Is it that Mehdi Hassan is practicing a different form of journalism compared to our journalists? The answer is no. So why is it that even though the journalists in our country have better access to these politicians, the representatives, they seem to always be very lenient towards them whenever they have them on their channel? I think it's high time the journalists actually understand that they do not represent the politicians. They do not represent the elected officials. They actually represent the people. Remember, the masses unfortunately do not have access to the politicians, to the representatives like the journalists do. What it means is when the masses actually have things they're not happy with, they do not have the avenue to speak about this, to talk to their representatives directly. Except, of course, we want them to do it through protest, of which is not always the right impact, the right direction to take. Because we've seen in so many instances where protest led to violence that resulted to loss of life of some citizens, things we want to avoid, right? So you will think that since the journalists always have, in most cases, of course, have access to the politicians, they should be thinking of the masses, the possible questions that the masses will have, want to ask, and ask such questions like Mehdi Hassan did, right? Try to hold them to account. The same way they all know that the citizens cannot, will not even have access to. But in most cases, they never do this. They just ask them more like simple question, having in their mind that next time I want to have this person back on my platform. So if I ask them probably the most difficult questions, if they get angry, they may not never really come back again. But that shouldn't really be the objective. The objective should always be about the citizens. what truth do we need to put out there for the citizens? If the citizens watch this interview today, will they feel satisfied with the level of questioning that been given to these representatives? I think in most cases, we all know the answer. Yes, I know. Of course, they just do whatever they feel is the best for their audience to have something to view, something to listen to, and also for the politician not to feel, the representative, of course, not to feel a lot embarrassed. I'm not saying that you should invite someone to your channel with the intention of embarrassing them. I'm simply saying once you already have them on your platform, as a journalist, you need to represent what you stand for, which is truth. You should be able to put that out there. You should ask them a very honest question. You should be very fair to them. You should not do it with any intention of humiliating them. But at the end of the day, you should be able to sit down, watch back the interview, and feel satisfied yourself that you did ask all the necessary questions that needed asking. That's simply what I'm saying. All right. That being said, let's keep the story of Daniel Bwala aside. Hopefully, our politicians and our representatives will do everything to make sure that they always represent the interest of our citizens. Obviously, the reason why Daniel Bwala felt he needed to defend the president is because of the information he did put out in the past. It's very important that when we are putting out any information, we should try to verify it first. It should be the truth so that we won't have to try to defend it in the future. You know, he couldn't even defend his own information that he put out in the past, where he did accuse the president on many instances. He could be right, he could be wrong, I don't know. But if you are putting something out there, you should be able to defend it another time, which unfortunately he failed to defend. So as politicians, please, let's try to, or let's not in the name of opposition, put out information that are not verifiable, information that we know are not the truth, all in the name of trying to bring down our opponents. So, all right, that is that for Daniel Bwala. Now, let's come back to a very important event that took place, which I feel it's worth talking about. Why is that? What is that? It's about a young lady, Ogadinma Uchechi, right? This event happened in River State. This young lady saw that the only secondary school they have in their community was so dilapidated that she thought she needed to bring awareness to the government so that they would do the needful. I mean, you will agree with me that in a society where things are working well, where everything is in order, right? This young lady should not be in a position to be talking about this. She should not be taking this as a responsibility. It's not her responsibility to talk about things like this. But because obviously her representatives have failed her, or for whatever reason, maybe the local government chairman, the commissioner for education in the state, even the state governor, for whatever reason, all these people have failed to see the situation on ground. So she thought, all right, let me use a platform where I know certainly I'm going to get the awareness that I need. This information is going to get to these people. She decided to use the platform, which is, of course, social media, right? To bring awareness to what is happening in her community. She did that and she was successful. She did create an awareness within the state and all over Nigeria generally, so much so that it got to the right people. From this point, you will believe that, you will think that what they will do will be to do the right thing, look into it immediately and try to find solution to it, right? No, they didn't do that. They decided that the best thing to do was to assault the young lady for whatever reason, probably for them, for bringing shame to the state. Please tell me, is there a bigger shame than children going to school to learn? The same children we believe, are the leaders of tomorrow. The same children in the next 30 years, we will be hoping that in a way they will be contributing to the development of our country. The same children will be hoping that in the next 30, 40 years, will be holding political positions, leadership positions within the country. So you will hope that the government will do everything possible to provide the right environment for them to be able to grow properly, develop properly, and flourish, so that at least they can gain the knowledge they need to make impact in the future, right? But what did they do? They assaulted the young lady for bringing shame to the community, for bringing shame to the state, forgetting the bigger shame, which is failing the community itself by not providing the right environment for the future leaders to grow properly within the state. I mean, think about this. How many of those representatives will allow their own children to school in the same environment? None. Absolutely none. So if they're not going to allow their own children to school in the same environment, what does that tell you? It tells you everything you need to know. They do not really believe that those children are going to be the leaders of our country. Now, they may have everything they need. They may be very strong, powerful, but what they're not thinking about is in the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, they're not going to be they're not going to have the same power they have today. They're not going to be the same people they are today. One of the issues we're having today, which is the issue of insecurity, do you think everything manifested within few years? No. Do you think everything started a couple of years ago? No. This is just the result of events that have accumulated over years. The event of lack of accountability, lack of responsibility, lack of sincerity, and lack of loyalty to the country and the people at large that brought us to where we are today. So we've started a new wave of events again that is also going to have a different form of reverberating results, outcomes in the future. Now, we have the issue of insecurity where people feel they can't even get job in the country, or they feel maybe kidnapping or joining terrorists is the right way to go about. Banditry has become a lucrative business in the country where people kidnap and ask for ransom. These are all events that built over years to where we are today. So the best way to actually fight against all the issues we have currently is to make sure that the coming generation are prepared properly. First, to be loyal to the country, love the country, be sincere, be a great citizen, and also have the right education that is required for them to contribute immensely to the development of our country. So we have leaders that are not doing the same for us. So they decided that the best thing to do is to assault Ogadinma Uchechi. They may have done that, but in the heart of many Nigerians, she's been seen as an image of the Nigeria that we want in the future, where people will speak up when they feel something is not all right with their country, when they feel the government is not doing enough. And they're not doing that because they want to take sides. These are not politicians. She's neither PDP nor APC or AD. She's just a citizen. She's just an ordinary citizen that see things that are not happening well within the country and decide to speak up. She should be treated as such, as a hero within the country. She should be celebrated. She should be actually commended for speaking up, for bringing this to the attention of the government. Not punished, not assaulted. What has she done wrong? People that haven't done anything wrong are being punished, whereas people that are actually they've actually done a lot of terrible things go scot-free, walk around freely within the country. Is that the society we want to live in? I'm sure a lot of you agree with me that that is not the society we want to live in. Absolutely not. We all want a safe Nigeria. For that to happen, we all need to be patriotic. Like I said, we all have responsibilities. If each and every one of us carry out our responsibility within the country, things will be improving. Things will improve. If you are in government, please do not embezzle. If you've been contracted to build hospitals, please build the hospitals. If you've been contracted to build roads, build them. If you've been contracted to renovate schools, renovate it. If you've been contracted to renovate universities, renovate it. If you're an SUG president within a university for the student union, do not try to accumulate a lot of hostels and try to sell them back to other students at higher rates. How exactly are you making life better for the students? How can we be certain that if you find your way into the circles of our leaders, of leadership of the country tomorrow, you will not replicate the same? These are all the little things that are adding up to the issues we have today. No one wants to take accountability, responsibility. We're all looking out for ourselves, not for the general interest of the country. Then later, it's very easy to blame it on one person. The president, oh, the president, this, oh, the president, that. I'm not saying the president is not to blame for some of those things, of course. Definitely, he has his own blames. But what I'm saying is it should be collective effort to improve the current situation of the country, current condition of the country. Because we're all to blame, right? We all have one blame or the other, here and there. It's not just one single person responsible for our issues in the country. Collectively, we're all responsible. So that is that on the issue of Ogadinma Uchechi. She did well. We commend her. A lot of Nigerians commend her. We're very happy with her. Those are the kind of citizens we want to have in Nigeria. Thank you. We appreciate everything you did. And now I'm very happy that good Samaritans within the country have taken up the effort to renovate the school. May God bless them all. Now, moving forward on the issue of insecurity within the country. I already touched on this a little bit a while ago. What brought us to where we are today? You know, it's very easy for us to say, oh, there is so much insecurity in the north, or there is so much banditry going on, there is so much other criminalities going on within the country. But what we fail to actually recognize is how we got here today. Insecurity. Do you think, for example, if I'm working today with lucrative job where I'm being paid handsomely well, earning so much, then someone comes from somewhere, try to sell some nonsense ideology to me, that you know what, you're going to do this, do that, you think I will even take a look at this person? Well, most likely I would take a look at the person so that I can report the person to the right authority, right? Probably. But I will never take a look at this person to even think about the offer, right? First of all, why? Because I love my country, right? And I'm loyal to my country. I want my country to develop. And secondly, because why is that? Why will I want to throw away my life for nonsensical offer they are going to give me? Why is that? But these people, they welcome the effort, they welcome the offer and decide to work with these terrorist elements and the bandits. Why is that? Because the government has failed them. Government did fail them. And this is not me trying to accept what they've done, what they are doing within the country. They are all criminals. Any form of terrorism, banditry, criminality within the country, perpetrated by whoever it is, be it politician, citizens, they're all criminality, right? We can all agree on that. Yeah. So that being said, we should be looking at the possibility of finding solution to these issues rather than coming here to talk about them all the time. We are very happy that the Nigerian military are fighting so hard against the terrorist elements. I know within the last couple of days, a lot of attacks already happened, Katsina, Kwara, and the latest being Kaduna. I think even today, as we speak, there was an attack in Kaduna State. I think that should be McCarthy Town. These are all unfortunate, seriously. They're all unfortunate, you know. We may try, at this point, we may try to blame the military as much as we want, or you can do whatever, say whatever you want to say. We have to acknowledge the very fact that they are the frontier in the defense of our country. They're sacrificing a lot. We may it's okay to want more from them, right? Because we know they are our last hope. They are the only hope we have within the country. But we also need to be very appreciative of everything they are doing, all the sacrifices they are making. God will continue to bless them, absolutely. God will bless them, protect them for us, of course, because without them, we won't have a country. Without the military, we won't have a country, right? They are the barrier, right? The break between the terrorist elements and the citizens. So they need our support more than ever. Of course, we need to continue to pray for them. We also need to support our governments. Remember, irrespective of what political party you support, once government is there, it's the government of the country. We have to support the government for the government to be successful. Because if the government fails, it's not the government failing, it's the country failing. And when the country fails, country is just a place, not feel it. It's you and I, the citizens, that feel it. So it's very important that we support the government to succeed once they're already there. Let's leave the politics to the politicians. And we citizens, let's live our life to save our country, to develop our country. So we should absolutely support the government in their efforts against insecurity, and hopefully, definitely, they're going to succeed. And we continue to pray for our gallant military men and women that are currently doing everything possible to protect our country, our citizens, and everyone at large. All right, please leave your comment wherever you feel about this whole situation happening within the country. Wherever you feel the government too can do to improve the situation, feel free to leave your comments in the comment section. Your comment is always welcome. Your opinion is always welcome. Your ideas are equally welcome to look into, absolutely. All right, subscribe to our channel.